Just wanted to talk a little astrology and throw some of the narcissists off. If you want to throw narcissists off, just start getting into the truth and they get deflated, and the disappearance of ego is not something they do very well. And well, because it's the fake ego that doesn't have an authentication as far as the truth resonation. Okay, so back to astrology. Boy, we have, see, the biggest news for me, and even though we do have Jupiter going into Gemini at the end of the month, starting on the 26th, and it's just going to plow right in, go into by the time it's June, at end of June, it's at 7 degrees. And it's like, wow, oh, wow. See, I didn't stress enough how Jupiter in Taurus is kind of um, funny. It's a big giant slowdown and no communication, kind of exaggerates that, exaggerates the feminine quality, which includes the negative feminine qualities, which could be kind of subdued and submissive and not talkative. But now we're going to have an explosion of communications on all kinds of levels. I'm pretty sure all styles of communication are going to blow on up, and I kind of mentioned that. It's just a different thing for Jupiter to be working within that place of Gemini, which is multi-dimensional. If you consider all the personalities that communications can come from, like the mediums. And now, getting back to one thing that I really want to talk about is Neptune at the latest degree, 29, Pisces. That is the main thing that is turning reality into the cartoon. It really is. It will start doing this. And see, now again, regarding the truth about that, about what I had just said, like the possibility of reality being just a dream and a cartoon kind of thing, it's hard on all narcissists who want to be more real than just the creation of creation rendering up this moment now, you see. And Neptune getting right on the edge of Aries, which you want to talk about the I am and the nowness feel. Really, we're really worried about Christ consciousness taking over for real. I mean, people, it's like, what's going to happen? Because, if there is more people stressed out on finances than people not stressed out on that, say that they're just anesthetizing themselves and getting into the game, first of all, Pisces, it rules the Christ consciousness, kind of like the oceanic vat of all of existence that says it's all here. What do you think? Um, why do you think that there's any shortages? Really, the illusion of that is happening. Really, and the illusion of structure of a lot of things is going on. I mean, out in the ocean, that's the way Pisces gets. And we are, see, I think of the late degree mutable planets. Mutable planets are Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces. See, Pisces, Neptune and Pisces, see, is squaring those planets. It's opposing Virgo, which I'm experiencing the opposition, which is very, very, very. It's it's. I think it's more auspicious than the squares, because there's two squares and there's two versions. But no, those are blindsiding. They're auspicious because the opposition is allowing sight of both spectrums, and it's like you can absorb both and become much more wiser, I think. Rather than the square is very hard. It's just that thing you need to imagine. The square, it's like one is going this way and the other is going that way. It could be a collision. When they do meet, there's an understanding of something. If anything, it's just slow down and pay attention, really, because consciousness is here. It should be here for what? Well, the truth is going on, and one person is going this way, and one person is going that way, and find out how they can both work instead of how they can both collide. But yeah, because we're evolving here as organisms, and the zodiac points at that. So there are all these kinds of characters here that 100% should contribute from their spontaneous place, Aries, and then do quality control, Taurus, and then communicate, Gemini, and then feel, you know, Cancer, and that pretty much sums up all the elements: fire, earth, air, water. And it resets back into Leo, fire, earth, air, water. And it's just evolution of human consciousness. We're getting more and more blown out as far as your mind is concerned, because by the time you get to Pisces, it's just like having, I mean, did you take your the right drugs? There's the right drugs, the wrong drugs. If you haven't noticed that, all of the wrong drugs are found in the medical system. Pretty much. I'm sorry to say, if you're not eating the right foods and figuring out that your drug, the thing you put in your mouth daily, you're either eating for your health or you're eating to destroy your health, and you really need to be careful. Having said that, it's like I'm weighing that out. It's like, okay, so the almonds and the walnuts are really good for me. I love those, and it does say protein on the powder that I made the pancake with anyway. If you can break it down to a main staple, especially in these times, and just pay attention to your health and say, wow, the certain kind of elements or whatever has subsided since I've quit eating a certain one, and just, boy, you can notice it like this. If you're a faster, thanks for listening to this subject matter. But what I mean is, if you do fasting, it's just as so much as having gone to sleep and went through 12 hours of no eating. But really, you should cleanse yourself out, make sure you poop, drink water, and wait. Feel, and then actually feel your foods. Be very careful. Don't just eat because you're trying to cover up the hunger feeling. Those hunger feelings and the feelings in your body comes from a different reason than you think. It's just you're hungry. And it's really hard to nourish ourselves nowadays. Oh boy, talking about this now. But if you're in the United States, yeah, it's very hard to nourish ourselves nowadays. Of course, you have to have a hell of a lot of food, a lot of money, right, to just eat the non-GMOs. You think you're going to cut corners and stuff, and it's not worth it. This is a battle for our fucking well-beings, and the women, in particularly, if they are alive, they're on the forefront of this. They're trying to figure out, what do we eat. It's really it's nerve wracking. I would think it's nerve wracking me just thinking about it. For me to just think about it, that they possibly have 3 or 4 children to manage, and plus their husband, who's a narcissist, there doesn't know how to cook, and is saying, well, what do we eat? And it's like, good question. You want to go and figure out what's going on in the fields out there? Why the hell that it's turning out poisonous and we have thyroid disease and all this shit? Thank you. I was wondering, here in my box, if it was real alive women out there, none of that shit would have been allowed to happen. This is what my theory is. That is my theory, is that they keep offing those, if you want to call them real human beings. It could be just the feminine quality. Otherwise, you have philosophy coming out of this mankind, which is like obviously lost, and it's not working. They say, well, you just got to turn into a clown, and then you're fine with life. Never think that you have to make sense. And what I mean is, on the most serious level, it's like, wait a minute. Somebody was mentioning the word dis-ease, and it's just a word, really, because there's dis and an ease. Now think about this, and this is a real conversation to me. We have to put it on the table. If we don't get our language down and get more defined, we're just going to keep and nothing solved. Dis-ease. See, I am full of dis-ease. I mean, that's all you see on how many 1,500 videos now. But I'm not sick. See, I'm not sick. Being sick is different than dis-eased. Sickness is something wrong, right? The cancer, something has moved in. The parasite is there, and it's sickness, and it doesn't know it's sick. But dis-ease will say, "Fuck no, I'm pissed, and this is." So I don't know. I just wanted to throw that in, but I do think that that's something to really look into, because the people that get diseased, especially let's say mental disease or something like that, or emotional disease, really, it's like maybe they're having a healthy reaction to a profoundly sick society. How about that one? Maybe they're just that reaction they're having that seems diseased, like they're kind of uncomfortable, like the kid, like they say, most of them, it's like, no, they don't have ADD. They don't want to sit in a box anymore. There's only much amount of time to get into your bodies in such a way and explore in such a way that you remain that way for the rest of your life, which is to be curious and ever exploring into new things instead of getting fed this shit that people are telling us, especially your history classes. And I will argue with the math teacher too. If you're not learning music, then you're not learning what you need to learn most everything else useful there is to learn. So it's just real math and oh my god. Having said that, the way that things are set up out there, it's not everybody is going to be chosen enough to see it, but some of us are, and it's like, but we don't fret about it. It's because we're seeing some other side of the spectrum. See, for instance, as I do play my own music, and it's my only thing I should be doing to save my life right now. I could make a lot of money probably doing just original pieces and really just practicing what I know and running through and running through. See, a lot of people just don't know how to do it and they think it's amazing, right? And I'm just like, whatever. It needs a drummer. It needs better support. Actually, I won't be so whatever if I make $300 a pop doing it somewhere out in the open. And I'm pretty sure that that's what will happen for me and me alone. And when I say me alone, I say let the music play. Just let the music play. Now, if it's a real musician, me alone means musician alone. And how do you what can you fill in? What can you hear of this music? Because I know what's going to come up. It's going to be nothing but when it's like this. The kids are now going, Mom, let's go tomorrow. Let's go see blah blah blah. And they're interested, and even the people are too. And it's like, cha-ching, cha-ching. And all I want is to be able to pay a little bit of my bills. I can't believe how simple my life is, but how simple it is to just pinch it off and not have it happen with just what? A few $100s, not being able to come up with a few $100s. I'm pretty sure I'm doing the wrong thing by advertising in such a way that it's like I'm just saying, let me do your yard, let me do yard work. And they don't believe in me, first of all, and it's like, no, go talk to the people. Can somebody, I'd love to go on the community center Facebook and say, could somebody pipe up about the work that I have done for you? For the amount of money that you've given me and the amount of work that I got done, you would pay $600 rather than $300 for that fucking massive job that I whip out for you. And you're like, because I do nothing but just get it done. I don't want to be there. See, the difference between me and a moneymaker person that's just going to rack your fucking, leave piles around and come back and do some more tomorrow. I don't leave piles. I don't want to be there all day. If I have risen my price, God, I'm talking about this now. And this is just talking about grunt work. You don't want to be there all day doing that stuff. So if I have risen my price, which I have, and it's because I should have, and I am a good worker, and it costs money to get up and go, especially doing yard work. You have to sharpen your tools. You're getting gas and oil and supplies like that, trash bags and stuff. And it's like if you can't get re-upped on that, then you're just working for half of what you're doing there. And anyway, it's day 1.5 of having put another advertisement in, and I think the universe is just telling me, Shauna, there's something that you can do. You're sitting right on it, and you just have to have faith more in yourself and doing it. I and music, we say that we don't do this. It's not one person, not one Buddha that knows God isn't enough. The saying goes, two or more. It's going to take two or more. And we don't see it much happening. Ask Christ Jesus over there. Two or more? No, couldn't even be that, hardly. We haven't really seen it much. But I say, yeah, it comes through this phenomena of being a little bit more, a little bit different. Not everybody knows how to play music, and you have to remember that, right? And it's a phenomenon. And from my generation, hell yeah, it is. If we step up, nothing has stepped up yet. Not really. Sorry, I just haven't been able to. I mean, why? Well, not as narcissistic, not as confident. I mean, false confidence. Say, we like to do teamwork, and we don't get that. Narcissists are doing teamwork more so than just cliquing, control work. It's not just like, oh wow, yeah, you're interested in the music. No, I'm interested in getting attention in certain way. Never can it be yours. And it's like, never this can be yours either. This is music's. And when you're fighting over it like that, like energetically, and you just think you're doing your ego there, the kids are confused. They're like, you're not even. You just listen to it. Really, it's interesting to hear deranged people, really, because music is the therapist in the room, the teacher in the room, the higher learning tool in the room, because it makes you listen, set yourself aside. What is the frequency? Just to get it in tune, to stay in harmony, to know how to be in harmony and maintain a harmony, be on time. All of these things the narcissists are actually allergic to. And so when they see to go play music as being the thing that will get them attention, like a no-brainer, a lot of them will pick singing, which is like that is the most difficult musical instrument to ever play. You have to be musically inclined, first of all. So all of that I had said, being on time, harmonizing to the point of vibrational frequency. They're not interested in any of that. The skill behind it, the surrender, how to be on time. It's just to set your ego aside, how to harmonize. Again, there's nothing you're thinking, just let it unfold. Some musicians, mystics, when they play live, never sat together before. See, a lot of them will play the blues first, but you don't necessarily have to do that. You can do some other chord structure. You can let just the one tone start playing vibrational, and you play with each other. And when it starts happening, the surrounding, it's different. When people are looking at it and gathering, it's like, when are you going to do that again? Well, just after this. That Mustang Sally. I think you better slow your Mustang down. No. Kill that fucking thing. Erase it. I'm a musician. Muse I shun. Too much falling back into that too. Is that your comfort zone? Mustang Sally? Take another drink? No! And your kids love it because nobody's drunken and it's actually inspiring. Give me your money. Not that much. Not that much. If 10 people showed up and they throw $10 in a night, I'm talking about $300 in three, and it's just like, I'll disappear for another month. I love my privacy. I love just being able to just pay 3 bills and just sit. I don't need to improve on anything but what? When I'm doing music, there's something called improvisation. Improving. Improv. I only know improv. I only know making it work, working with what we have, being happy with that. It's amazing. It's like, you fashioned it. Improvisation. That's the highest form of musical and a creation that you can do if we're talking about music. Jazz musicians do it. Improvisation. Improvisation? Maybe.